We continue with our Theology of the Body Mondays, and we began talking about last time about how the theology of the body is the study of God as revealed through our bodies. And we also talked about how we are created in the image and likeness of God, and not just any God, but God, the only one God, right? But He is triune, the triune God. The God who is communion even in Himself. And so if we're created in the image and likeness of a God who is communion even in Himself, a community of persons, a communion of persons even within Himself, it makes sense that we desire communion with others, that we are made for union, that we desire to be loved, to be known, to belong, and also to give ourselves away to others, to be in union with them. Kind of related to this reality of being made in the image and likeness of God and made for union, there's this concept that John Paul II talks about. He goes back to Genesis and reads kind of the story about Adam and Eve, and he says there's this reality of original solitude. He uses this term, original solitude. And it's this moment when Adam has been created, but Eve has not been created. So let me read you just a little bit. I'm going to skip around a couple parts from the second account of creation in the book of Genesis. This is chapter 2. So God has created kind of the heavens and the earth at this point, and also Adam. He says, "It is not good that the man should be alone. I will make him a helper fit for him." So out of the ground the Lord God formed every beast of the field and every bird of the air, and brought them to the man to see what he will call them. It continues, and then it says that after God did all this, there was not found a helper fit for him. So Adam has been created, and then God says, hey, let's create a helper fit for him, that he should not be alone. And so he creates all these animals, and then Adam begins to name all these animals, and yet at the end, man still realizes, hey, like, I am different. As a human person, I am different from the animals. There's a fundamental distinction between the soul of an animal and the soul of a human person. Right? None of the animals, could give this communion to Adam that we desire, right? And so this experience of realizing, hey, I am uniquely made, and animals cannot give me the type of communion that I desire, John Paul II called original solitude. Like, he realized, in a sense, that he was alone in a sense, right? Not necessarily in a super negative way, right? And then after that is when God creates Eve. And what does Adam say after that? This at last is bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. So in a way, resolving this issue of the original solitude, right? A fit companion for man, somebody with whom he can enter into this deeper kind of union. I'm kind of skipping around random concepts that John Paul II talked about. Another one that's also related to this is a concept he coined with the term Sacramentality of the body. And so, what is a sacrament? A sacrament, it's a visible rite of an invisible grace, right? Like baptism, it's a visible rite. You pour water upon a person, and you say some words, and something powerful and invisible happens, right? This person, their sins are washed away, become a child of God, etc., right? So a sacrament is kind of something that makes visible something that's invisible. Like this washing of a kid, it makes visible the invisible, what's happening in the soul. So John Paul II talks about the reality that the body is similar. The body is not a sacrament in the sense of the 7 sacraments, but the body makes visible something invisible about the human person, right? That we are made for union. Stamped into our very bodies as men and women, it is this reality that we're made for union. If you look at the body of a man by itself makes no sense. Stamped into the very body of a man says, I am made for union with another. And likewise, if you look at the body of a woman, body by itself, a woman makes no sense by itself. Stamped into that very body, it's inscribed this reality: I am made for union. Now, this union is more than just the physical thing, or this physical reality that we see in the body. It tells us about the heart of the person, right? That the body makes visible an invisible reality of the human heart. It expresses something very deep about who we are as human beings. The body itself, right, not only expresses the reality of this physical union that we're made for, but a more deep union, a union of the heart. And even points us to heaven, because while we are made to be in union with others, we're made for friendship, perhaps for marriage if that's our vocation. Ultimately, we're made for union with God. Just last week, somebody told me the following, and I thought it was awesome. He said, "My desires from friendship will always exceed what is possible on earth." My desires for friendship will always exceed what is possible on earth, right? I desire more intimacy, more deeper friendship. It can't have here. And so this points us to heaven. So we'll continue with these different concepts next week.